Have you ever wondered why some women seem to have a magnetic, mysterious aura that draws people in, yet they remain perfectly content being alone? That's the enigma of a Sigma female, and today we're diving deep into their dangerous, intriguing love lives. What you're about to discover might completely change how you view relationships forever. Sigma females, independent, mysterious, fiercely intelligent. These women don't play by the rules society sets for love. They value freedom, authenticity, and self-worth over the cookie-cutter romances we see every day. But their love lives. Oh, they're a battlefield, often misunderstood, misjudged, or downright intimidating. Sigma females navigate relationships like no one else, and it's dangerous in ways most people will never see coming. Along the way, I'll share a secret about Sigma women's hearts that will blow your mind. So, stay with me. Let's start at the first sight, the island of independence. For Sigma females, independence isn't just a preference, it's their lifeline. It's the foundation of their identity. While many people find comfort in the idea of belonging to someone in a relationship, Sigma women see it differently. For them, love isn't about merging identities or losing themselves in another person. It's about two strong individuals standing side by side, building something meaningful without compromising who they are at their core. This is where the disconnect often begins. Society tends to glorify relationships that are built on constant togetherness, shared routines, joint decision-making, and being each other's everything. While that might work for some, Sigma females see this as suffocating. They aren't afraid to admit that they need space to thrive. To them, love isn't about filling a void. It's about complementing an already fulfilled life. But here's the kicker. This independence is often misinterpreted. People assume Sigma women are cold, distant, or uninterested in love. That couldn't be further from the truth. Sigma females want love, but they want a love that respects their autonomy. They want a partner who understands that their need for space doesn't mean a lack of affection. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The more a Sigma female feels trusted to maintain her independence, the deeper and more fiercely she loves in return. Imagine this. You're dating a Sigma female. You might notice that she treasures her solo time, reading, exploring hobbies, or even just daydreaming in her own world. It might feel like she's pulling away, but she's not. That time alone is how she recharges, how she connects with herself. When she comes back to you, it's with a clearer mind and a fuller heart, ready to give her best. This mindset, however, can create challenges in relationships. Traditional romantic dynamics, where partners expect constant attention or reassurance, can clash with a Sigma female's nature. Some might see her independence as a threat. Others might feel she's too self-sufficient to need them. But here's the truth. Sigma females do need love. They just need it differently. They value quality over quantity, depth over superficial gestures, and trust over constant validation. And here's what's most inspiring about Sigma females in this space. They show us that love doesn't have to come at the expense of selfhood. They prove that you can stand strong as an individual while still deeply valuing connection. If you've ever felt the need to protect your independence in a relationship, even when it wasn't understood, you're not alone. Share your story in the comments. Your voice matters. And stay tuned, because the next sight on this journey reveals another surprising truth about the love lives of Sigma females. Welcome to the second stop on our journey, the Valley of Misunderstandings. If there's one thing Sigma females know too well, it's being misunderstood. Whether by potential partners, friends, or even society, their unique approach to love often leaves others baffled and sometimes even frustrated. One of the most common labels thrown at Sigma women is that they're too cold or too distant. People assume that because a Sigma doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve, She must not have one at all. But that's not the truth. The reality is, Sigma females feel very deeply. They just don't show their emotions the way most people expect. So why do people get this wrong? For starters, Sigma females don't rush into relationships. They don't jump at the first sign of attention or affection. Instead, they pause, observe, and analyze. Every detail matters to them. How does this person treat others? Are their words consistent with their actions? Does this connection align with their values and long-term goals? This selective nature isn't a defense mechanism. It's a reflection of their high standards. Because of this, a Sigma female might seem distant, but in reality, she's just taking her time. She knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to wait for it. For those who don't understand her mindset, this patience can come across as indifference or even rejection. But here's the thing. When a Sigma female chooses someone, it's not on a whim. It's a deeply considered decision that comes from the heart. This careful approach also ties into Sigma's desire to protect herself. These women often have a history of being let down by people who didn't live up to their words, who couldn't handle their independence, or who tried to mold them into something they're not. So they build emotional walls, not to keep love out, but to make sure only the right kind of love gets in. This can make them seem hard to read or emotionally unavailable. But underneath the calm exterior lies a woman who loves fiercely and with unwavering loyalty, once she's sure her feelings are reciprocated. If you've ever been in a situation where you were called distant or cold, simply because you were taking the time to protect your heart, you're not alone. Sigma females experience this all the time. It's not about shutting people out. It's about letting the right people in. So tell me, have you ever been misunderstood in love? Have you ever been accused of being too selective when you were just holding out for someone who truly deserves your time and energy? Share your story in the comments, because chances are your experience will resonate with more people than you think. And don't go anywhere. The next stop on our journey is one that might just make you rethink everything you know about relationships. Stay tuned. Site 3. The Bridge of Broken Expectations. Let's cross the bridge of broken expectations, where love and ambition often collide for Sigma females. In a world where traditional romance often glorifies dependence and sacrifice, Sigma females challenge the status quo. They don't fit into the neatly packaged ideals of love that society presents, being swept off their feet, relying on someone else for emotional or financial support, or molding their lives around their partners. Instead, Sigma women are driven by an inner fire to achieve their own goals and carve out their own path. This unshakable independence is where the first cracks in expectations begin to show. Many people enter relationships with the belief that they need to save or complete their partner. But for Sigma females, there's nothing to save. They've already built a life they're proud of, and they don't need a hero. They need a partner, someone who isn't intimidated by their strength but inspired by it. This can be hard for many people to accept. Some partners mistake a Sigma female's ambition and self-reliance as a sign that they don't need love or support. In reality, Sigmas do want love. They just don't want a love that stifles them. They're looking for a partner who sees their independence as an asset, not a threat. Someone who matches their ambition, respects their boundaries, and values them for who they are, not who they could become under someone else's influence. But here's the problem. Traditional ideas of love often run counter to what a Sigma female wants and needs. When a Sigma woman prioritizes her career, passions, or personal growth, it can leave her partner feeling neglected or undervalued. This isn't because she doesn't care, it's because she believes that love should enhance her life, not consume it. And this is where heartbreak often happens. Partners who aren't prepared for a Sigma's independence can find themselves struggling to keep up. They might feel frustrated, confused, or even insecure, believing that if a Sigma female doesn't need them to survive, then maybe she doesn't truly love them. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Sigma females love deeply and fiercely, but their love is grounded in mutual respect, not dependency. On the other side, Sigma women also face heartbreak. When they choose a partner, they invest fully. But when that partner tries to clip their wings, dismiss their ambitions, or fails to appreciate their strength, it forces a Sigma to make a tough decision, to stay and compromise who they are, or to walk away and stay true to themselves. For most Sigmas, the choice is clear, but it's never easy. The heartbreak on both sides of the bridge is undeniable. A partner who couldn't meet the Sigma where she was ends up feeling inadequate, while the Sigma walks away with the sting of losing someone she cared for deeply. It's a painful reminder of how societal expectations can clash with the reality of modern relationships. If you've ever been in a relationship where your ambition or independence created tension, you're not alone. Sigma females face this challenge time and time again. But here's the lesson. Walking away from someone who can't respect your boundaries or match your drive isn't a failure. It's an act of self-respect. So, what about you? Have you ever crossed the bridge of broken expectations? Have you experienced the heartbreak of being misunderstood or undervalued because of your goals and independence? Let us know in the comments below. Share your thoughts below. Have you ever been called too picky in relationships? Welcome to the jungle of overthinking, a place where Sigma females often find themselves when navigating relationships. For many Sigma women, their minds are their strongest allies. They're analytical, thoughtful, and deeply introspective. But when it comes to love, this powerful mind can turn into a double-edged sword, sending them spiraling into overanalysis. Here's how it usually starts. A single text message. It might be short, vague, or even perfectly normal, but to a Sigma female, it becomes a puzzle to solve. What did they really mean by that? Is there a hidden message between the lines? Why did they phrase it this way instead of that way? These questions can consume her thoughts, sending her deep into a jungle of interpretations, possibilities, and assumptions. But let's get one thing straight. Sigma females don't overthink because they're insecure or needy. In fact, it's the opposite. Their overthinking stems from their desire for honesty, depth, and clarity in their connections. They want to make sure that the person they're investing in feels the same way about them. They don't want to waste time on something shallow or insincere, and this need for certainty drives their analytical nature. It's not just texts that spark this overthinking. Every action, every word, and even moments of silence can become part of the equation. Did they cancel the date because they're busy or because they're losing interest? Did that compliment come from a place of genuine admiration, or were they just being polite? For a Sigma female, no detail is too small to scrutinize. The jungle of overthinking is both exhausting and exhilarating. On one hand, it showcases the Sigma female's emotional intelligence and her ability to pick up on subtleties that others might miss. On the other hand, it can leave her feeling stuck, unable to move forward, because she's trapped in an endless loop of what-ifs. What makes this even more challenging is that Sigma females don't often share their thoughts openly. They may look calm and composed on the outside, but inside, their minds are racing. They analyze every angle because they value truth and don't want to make decisions based on assumptions or fleeting emotions. But here's the deeper truth. Sigma females overthink because they care. If they didn't value the relationship or the person they're with, they wouldn't put so much effort into trying to understand. Their overthinking is a sign of their commitment to making things work, if only they could find the answers they're looking for. This tendency can be misunderstood by others, who might label them as difficult or too intense. But for Sigma females, it's not about being difficult. It's about ensuring their love is built on a foundation of honesty and depth. If you've ever found yourself overanalyzing someone's actions, wondering if you're reading too much into things, know that you're not alone. Many Sigma females have been there, navigating the complexities of love and connection with their sharp minds and sensitive hearts. So, what about you? Have you ever felt like your mind was running in circles because of love? Share your story in the comments below, because sometimes the only way out of the jungle is to find others who've been there too. And don't leave just yet. The next stop on our journey will uncover a truth about Sigma females that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about love. Stay tuned. Site 5. The Cliff of Emotional Risks. For a Sigma female, opening up to someone feels like standing at the edge of a cliff. It's exhilarating but terrifying. They're naturally guarded, and not because they don't want to connect with others, but because their hearts are treasures they don't give away lightly. Every time they consider letting someone in, they weigh the risk against the reward. Here's why this is so difficult. Sigma females have a deep fear of vulnerability. They've spent their lives building independence, strength, and emotional resilience. To open up means to expose a part of themselves that feels raw and unprotected. It's not about being cold or emotionless. It's about protecting their inner world from those who might not handle it with care. To a Sigma, love is a leap of faith, but one they can't take lightly. They're not the type to casually share their thoughts, feelings, or past. They need to be sure that the person they're opening up to is worth the risk. This cautiousness isn't about mistrust. It's about self-preservation. Sigma females know the weight of their emotions, and they won't hand them over to someone who hasn't earned that privilege. But here's the paradox. When Sigma females do decide to love, they love with an intensity that can shake the world. It's all or nothing for them. Once they trust someone enough to take that leap, they pour their whole heart into the relationship. They become fiercely loyal, deeply supportive, and incredibly attentive. Their love is transformative, but it only emerges when they feel completely safe. This dynamic can be confusing for potential partners. From the outside, it may seem like the Sigma female is disinterested or holding back, but inside, she's waging an internal battle, debating whether to risk the fall. For a Sigma, the fear of opening up is less about rejection and more about losing the identity and strength they've worked so hard to build. The real challenge lies in finding someone who understands this. A person who is patient, who sees through the armor, and who respects the time it takes for a Sigma to let them in. For those who do earn her trust, the reward is immense. A love so profound and unwavering that it feels like a force of nature. Have you ever struggled with letting someone in, even when you knew they might be worth it? If so, you're not alone. Many Sigma females have stood at the edge of this cliff, grappling with the fear of falling. But here's the truth. The leap may be terrifying, but when the right person catches you, it's worth every moment of uncertainty. Site 6. The Labyrinth of High Standards. For Sigma females, their standards aren't just a checklist. They're a way of life. They don't approach love casually or settle for surface-level connections. Instead, they've built a fortress of high expectations, designed to filter out anyone who doesn't align with their values, ambitions, and respect for authenticity. Let's get one thing clear. Sigma females aren't looking for perfection. They know that perfect doesn't exist, and they aren't waiting for some mythical prince or princess to sweep them off their feet. What they are looking for is something much rarer, a partner whose character, intelligence, and respect match their own. For them, love isn't about finding someone to complete them. It's about finding someone who complements their already full and independent life. This is where the labyrinth comes in. To those on the outside, navigating a Sigma female's high standards can feel like solving a complicated puzzle. She won't fall for superficial charm or flashy gestures. She sees right through facades and digs deep to uncover someone's true intentions. A person's words, actions, and consistency all matter to her, and she won't let just anyone into her heart. This approach can intimidate potential partners. Some might see it as an impossible quest, feeling as though nothing they do is ever good enough. Others might label her as picky or too demanding. But in truth, Sigma females aren't trying to be difficult. They're trying to ensure their time, energy, and emotions are invested in someone truly worth it. For Sigma females, their standards act as both a shield and a guide. The shield protects them from wasting time on people who don't respect their boundaries or share their values. The guide helps them recognize the rare individuals who truly understand and appreciate what they bring to a relationship. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about knowing their worth and refusing to settle for less. But here's the twist. For the right person, navigating this labyrinth isn't a chore. It's a privilege. A partner who is patient, genuine, and aligned with the Sigma's values will find that her high standards aren't barriers. They're gateways to a connection deeper and more meaningful than most people ever experience. So if you're someone who feels like their high standards have been criticized or misunderstood, know this: you're not being unreasonable. You're protecting your heart and holding out for what you deserve. Have you ever been told your standards were too high? Or have you met someone who made you realize they were worth the wait? Share your experience in the comments below, because every step in the labyrinth teaches us something valuable about ourselves and others. Site 7. The Desert of Loneliness. Welcome to the Desert of Loneliness, a place every Sigma female has walked through at some point in her life. Loneliness. It's a feeling that most people fear and avoid at all costs. But for Sigma females, it's a reality they've learned to face head-on. Why? Because their principles, independence, and high standards often mean walking a path that others don't understand or follow. Let's be clear about something. Sigma females aren't alone because they can't find love. They're alone because they refuse to settle for less than a connection that aligns with their values and respects their individuality. To them, love is not about filling an emotional void or conforming to societal expectations. It's about finding something meaningful and real. If that means enduring long stretches of solitude, they're willing to take that journey. But make no mistake, this isn't an easy choice. The desert of loneliness can be an isolating place. Watching others around them settle into relationships, even ones that seem shallow or mismatched, can create moments of doubt. Sigma females might ask themselves, am I being too stubborn, too selective? Will I always be alone? These are natural thoughts, but they don't dictate their actions. Instead, Sigma females lean into their solitude. They use this time to grow, to reflect, and to nurture their own ambitions and dreams. They understand that being alone doesn't mean being incomplete. In fact, they view this solitude as an opportunity to strengthen their sense of self, to build the kind of life that doesn't rely on someone else for fulfillment. Think about the desert for a moment. It's harsh, it's relentless, and it feels endless, but it also teaches resilience. Sigma females who walk through their own desert learn to rely on themselves in ways that most people never do. They discover their inner strength, sharpen their sense of purpose, and emerge more confident than ever. This choice, choosing solitude over settling, often baffles others. People might see their independence and think they're too proud, too difficult, or too unwilling to compromise. But the truth is, Sigma females are incredibly open to love. They just know that settling for the wrong person would be a betrayal of who they are. They'd rather wait for the right connection, even if it takes years, than sacrifice their values or peace of mind for a fleeting sense of companionship. And when the right person does come along, they'll find a partner who isn't just independent and resilient, but also deeply appreciative of the love they share. A Sigma female doesn't just bring affection to a relationship, she brings depth, strength, and unwavering loyalty. Have you ever chosen solitude over settling? Have you walked your own desert, searching for a connection that truly resonates with your heart? If so, you're not alone. Many Sigma females have been there, finding power in their loneliness and emerging even stronger. Share your story in the comments below. Your journey could inspire someone else walking through their own desert right now. And don't go anywhere, because the final stop in this journey reveals a secret about Sigma females that will leave you in awe. Stay tuned. Site 8. The Secret Garden of Unspoken Love. Here's the secret most people don't know. Sigma females love in silence. They don't shout their feelings from the rooftops or make grand public gestures to prove their affection. Instead, their love blooms quietly, like the flowers in a hidden garden, beautiful, profound, and deeply authentic. This can be both their greatest strength and their most misunderstood trait. While others may expect constant declarations of love or dramatic expressions of affection, Sigma females express their feelings in subtle, meaningful ways. They believe that actions speak louder than words, and their love is often found in the little things they do. For example, a Sigma female might not say, "I love you," every day, but she'll show it by remembering the things that matter to you, your dreams, your struggles, your favorite little quirks. She'll be there to support you when times are tough, cheer for you when you succeed, and quietly inspire you to become the best version of yourself. Her love is steady, reliable, and unwavering, even if she doesn't put it into words. This silent form of love can be confusing for those who are used to more outward displays of affection. Some might think a Sigma female doesn't care or isn't emotionally invested simply because she doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve. But nothing could be further from the truth. Sigma females feel deeply, often more deeply than they let on. They simply choose to show their love in ways that align with their nature, quiet, thoughtful, and intentional. Why do Sigma females love this way? Part of it comes from their independent nature. They don't like to feel vulnerable or exposed, and openly expressing their feelings can make them feel just that. They also believe that true love doesn't need to be announced or proven to anyone else. It's something that exists between two people, and it's made real through actions, not words. But here's where the challenge lies. Many people miss the signs of a Sigma female's love. They fail to see the effort she puts in behind the scenes, the sacrifices she makes without saying a word, or the way she's always quietly watching out for the people she cares about. It takes a special kind of partner to recognize and appreciate the depth of a Sigma female's unspoken love. If you're lucky enough to be loved by a Sigma female, ask yourself this. Are you paying attention? Are you listening to the language of her actions? Because once you do, you'll realize just how deeply she feels and how fully she loves. So, tell me, have you ever experienced this kind of love? Or have you been the one to love in silence, hoping your actions would speak for you? Share your story in the comments below, because this secret garden of unspoken love is more common and more powerful than many people realize. And remember, as this journey ends, the story doesn't. Sigma females are redefining love every day, and their unique way of loving is one of their greatest gifts to the world. And here's the most surprising truth. Sigma females aren't afraid of being alone. They're afraid of losing themselves in love. This is their strength, but also their curse. It's why their love lives a dangerous, exhilarating, and unlike anything you've ever seen. So there you have it, the dangerous love life of Sigma females, revealed across these 8 sites. Sigma women offer a love so unique, so profound, that it changes you forever if you're willing to earn it. If you've ever dated or been inspired by a Sigma female, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check out our next video on why Sigma females are redefining what it means to be powerful in today's world. Until next time, stay strong, stay independent, and never settle.